Nigerians lawyers lambast judges amid controversy surrounding alleged flying of jurists to London for training by Asset Recovery Agency Amcon. It was learned that Ahmed Kuru, Amcon managing director and the director and chief executive officer of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit (NFIU), Modibo Tukur, were actively involved in the annual training for the judges in London. Nigerians lawyers have criticized judges of the Federal High Court for attending a training in the United Kingdom, reportedly bankrolled by the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria (Amcon). It has been reported how top judicial officers were reportedly flown abroad by the government agency for the training. It was learned that Ahmed Kuru, Amcon managing director, and the director and chief executive officers of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, Modibo Tukur, were actively involved in the annual training for the judges in London. Sources accused Amcon of flying the judges to London for the training at huge expense, even when almost all the resource persons are from Nigeria. Honorable Justice John T. Shoho, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice A.O. Faji of the Federal High Court, and other Federal High Court judges from Nigeria are currently in London for the training, which was declared open on Monday, July 31st, by the High Commissioner for Nigeria in the United Kingdom, Sarafa Tunji Isola, a source has told reporters. Another source had lamented that despite costing Nigerians the loss of thousands of jobs through lack of expertise in its debt recovery operations and liquidations of several companies, Amcon sponsored judges to the United Kingdom for training amid economic challenges in Nigeria. Despite causing job losses and destroying several businesses in Nigeria, Amcon sponsored judges to the United Kingdom for training and put them in a hotel. This comes at a time Nigeria is having challenges saving forex. This whole training during the judges' vacation is an organized racket by Amcon to bribe the lordships and get them to compromise cases. We heard that foreign currencies were doled out to them. What if other agencies also take judges to various countries for training? One of the sources had said. Kuru and the head of NFIU are in London with some Federal High Court judges, claiming to be trained and training them on financial-related cases. It turns out Amcon used third parties to arrange the facade or so-called training when only the National Judicial Institute (NJI) has the statutory power to train judges, the sources had said. Meanwhile, some lawyers haven't taken to the Nigerian Bar Association WhatsApp group to condemn the move. They wondered why Amcon, who has several cases before the court, will be training a class of judicial officers how to handle their cases. Lawyers' WhatsApp group are buzzing over the scandal. The Federal High Court Chief Judge is in hot soup, a lawyer told Sahara reporters on Sunday. One of the posts in the group, seen by the reporters, read, "It is not the work of MBA to train judges. There is National Judicial Institute, the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, law faculties, and so on. The closest that Amcon, EFCC, and so on should do is to sponsor or collaborate with these institutes or institutions to train judicial officers. For a party to a class of cases to be training a class of judicial officers to handle their cases is rather scandalous and a terrible affront on separation of powers and independence of the judiciary. These are our culture of never saying no, thank you, had destroyed every ethical fabrics of our nation. The Federal High Court should have drawn a list of the parties involved in Amcon cases and invited them and their lawyers as participants in the conference now. Very funny excuse, another one read. An article written by Ismail Mustafa, a Nigerian public affairs analyst living in London, was also shared in the group. The article is titled, "Thank you, Your Lordships, but no thanks." It read, "It's with rude shock that I read how a Nigerian famous litigant and beneficiary of the most of the ex parte orders issued in any Nigerian court gathered Nigerian federal high courts in the United Kingdom to thank them for granting arbitrary ex parte orders. It breaks my heart so much so that I remember with nostalgia how revered how our judges were rather. At least I knew them growing up as a son of a senior civil servant in the Ikoyi area of Lagos. Even my father could not look into their lordships' faces back then despite being neighbors. Our judges were so honorable and respected when we were teenagers. For this I thank our fathers, but no thanks to the ingenuity and scheming of some corrupt Nigerian government officials. Here we are on a summer afternoon in London that a Federal High Court Chief Judge is thanking Ahmed Kuru, the CEO of Amcon, for convening a training for the judges who sit in justice and arbitration in several cases between his company and several diverse interests across Nigeria and the rest of the world. Without a doubt, justice cannot be served by their lordships, who have all gathered in a London hotel to enjoy the generosity of Amcon and its management, and in any such cases that involve Amcon. While foreign training will not be out of place for the officers of our judiciary, where and when absolutely necessary, since no man is an island, this will be by the National Judicial Institute and should not involve in litigating parties. This whole show of shame is a total erosion of the independence of the judiciary and class insubordinations of the state by all the persons involved. Shamelessly, this is how the self-praising Amcom CEO, who is known for disrespecting the orders of the same courts, gathered our so-called respected judges, and he is suspending their hard-earned forex that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all Nigerians are struggling and working hard to earn for development. Kuru's profuse Thanksgiving statement to their lordships presented Nigeria's judiciary to the rest of the world in a bad light and assumably for sale. This charade of training in London by a famous Lagos law firm that is also an Amcom solicitor is a sign of serious compromise against the Nigerian public and wanton usurpations of the work of the National Judicial Institute.